What were the worst punishments that you ever got as a child? We're about to find out some people's worst punishments kids receive from their parents by infographics. Let's get it. What is good, HollaSquad? We are the latest platform. Today we are back with another reaction, and we're reacting to worst punishments kids receive from their parents. Now, to be honest, I was a good child, at least in the eye of my parents. You know what I'm saying? The things that I did, nobody knows, okay? Because I was a slick, sly trooper, never got whoopings or nothing. You know what I'm saying? That's how you got Big Holla today, okay? Y'all let me know down below before we hop into this video, what were some of the punishments that your parents dealt out to you? I know people who got hit with switches, broomsticks, frying pans, leather belts. You know what I'm saying? I know a kid who got hit with the garage door. Okay, yes, it is true. His mom, it might have been his dad. It was one of his parents. Laid him down on the ground, took the garage door, and yeeted that joint on him. So there's a lot of different ways, you know what I'm saying? Parents be giving kids the beats. Now, there's probably some other punishments besides whoopings in here, I'm pretty sure. But before we hop into this video, make sure y'all smash that like button, because the more likes it gets, the better the video does, the more of these rabbit hole videos I'm going to do. So go ahead and smash that button. Also hit that sub button so you will be notified when I drop more of those. Am I or am I not wearing pants? Comment down below. I'm going to see who's right. Some of y'all are going to be wrong. Let's hop into this. Let's get it.
Period of time you were not allowed to go and hang out with your buddies, or even a little smack to the behind when you were very young. But not all moms and dads read the various good parenting manuals that come out for every generation, and you could say some parents take punishments a bit too far. That's exactly what we'll look at today.
What is he doing? What is that? That don't look like no whooping. Y'all gonna have to get some more illustrators in there, because, listen.
In this episode of the Infographic Show, worst punishments kids received from their parents. We'll offer a disclaimer first and say that some punishments might have been common in the past, hence sayings such as spare the rod and spoil the child.
Yeah.
This phrase relates to corporal punishment, like spanking, hitting with a rod, shoe, stick, or cane. This kind of thing seems outdated now, but some people still argue that it is needed. So when we say worst, that's subjective. According to Psychology Today.
Oh, shorty on the treadmill on the right. You a little freak, huh? You said, are you talking about you? You get down, don't you? Nasty.
Such punishments are still common throughout the world. We will talk about more common punishments in this show, or perhaps punishments that could be conceived as common, rather than scour the media for instances in which sadistic parents did horrible things to their children. We'll try and keep it light, and at the end you can decide what punishment was the worst. Number 10. Not sparing the rod. Domestic corporal punishment is largely frowned upon and has actually been outlawed in many
It look like my man beating her with a shoe, bruh. You gotta pull out the leather belt, put the buckle
countries, but many nations have not imposed a ban. It's a punishment that is supposed to inflict pain on the child, such as spanking, sometimes known as smacking, or hitting the child with an object such as dad's smelly size 12 slipper. In fact, looking at forums which had input from kids growing up in the mid to late 20th century, getting hit with a hand or an object wasn't out of the ordinary. People wrote that their parents would not use their hands, but use a paddle, a cane, a shoe, or perhaps worse, a belt. We put this in the number 10 spot not because we don't think it's bad, but because in the past it was so normalized. Things have changed though. Number 9. Washing the mouth out with soap and water. While it's hard,
that has never happened to me. But if it did, if my parents ever had to wash my mouth out with soap and water, I would have grew up. I was about to say something very disrespectful. I'm not going to say it. But they would have had to get the beats when I got older. That just sounds like something that you shouldn't do. If you got your mouth washed out with soap, give me your parents' coordinates, okay? I got a missile factory in the backyard. I will gladly blow their house up. I'm just kidding. Maybe you can't say that on the internet. In a video game, I will blow their house up. Yeah.
Hard to believe that this was a thing. There are many recorded cases of it happening that have been discussed in studies. Usually the child will have spoken out of turn, perhaps cursed, even blasphemed, and the resultant punishment for such an infraction would be to literally wash the child's mouth out with soap and water. Believe it or not, we found a website called meanestmom.com where a woman talks about how this had proved successful in disciplining her son. In the comments section, other moms said vinegar works just as well. This was 2009, but reading such comments, one might think there was internet in 1909. Number 8. Grounded. Now you've all probably been grounded, but sometimes that could be more like imprisonment and you might wish you'd have been made to swallow some soapy water. We found online that some parents have used a punishment called long-term grounding, or what sounds more like house arrest. One person on Reddit said he'd spent much of his teenage years grounded. On another blog, we found a kid who had been grounded for 8 months. There is a saying, grounded for life, but such a punishment would no doubt be very abnormal.
Bro, look, I've been grounded before, but I ain't get grounded for like breaking the rules. I got grounded for my grades because I never did homework. 3rd grade was the last time I did homework for the rest of my scholarly career. Okay, but yeah.
Nonetheless, some parents believe that by keeping their kids close, they are protecting them. Most psychologists believe the opposite, and that such mollycoddling will make the child weaker and unable in later life to deal with social problems. Number 7. Shooting up your stuff. As you know, parents often take your things away from you as a punishment, which is a kind
I'm gonna need some more details on this one. Hold on.
kind of deprivation. Some parents have taken this a step further.
That's unacceptable, okay? I'm gonna be honest, unacceptable.
One such person appeared in American news media in 2012 after he shot up his 15-year-old's laptop and posted the video on YouTube. He later got a visit from Child Protection Services. We might also add that even though the video went viral, some people said it was fake and the dad was just trying to get some publicity. All we can say is taking a gun to your kids' digital devices, if real, is kinda harsh. Number 6. The end of privacy as you know it. Looking around the web, there are forums with parents asking if it's okay for them to remove their teenager's bedroom door. Some parents ask if it's even legal.
That's what I'm saying. Look at how my man's supposed to spank in peace. And I ain't talking about that type of spanking. I'm talking about, actually, we're not going to go into that. But how my man, you still got the bathroom though. Okay, you still got the bathroom. So yeah, there's that.
Teens might have a legal right to their privacy. One person said on a forum, "Their right to privacy does not supersede my need to make sure they're not engaging in activities that could be detrimental to their future." Others called it cruel. What we found is that plenty of parents do it, in spite of the time it must take. On one forum, a person wrote that if you stop them from doing something in their bedroom, they will more than likely just do it somewhere else.
Exactly.
Perhaps it's best to talk to kids about the actual thing. Number 5. Public humiliation. In 2012, the Huffington Post published a blog post in which one writer said public humiliation of kids is a new trend, at least in the USA. She cited an instance in which parents in Illinois made their 8-year-old daughter stand outside school, wrapped in a sandwich board that read, "I like to steal from others," and lie about it. Another kid in Miami had to stand outside his school, holding a sign that said, "I was sent to school to get an education, not to be a bully." And yet another kid in Denver had to stand on a public street, holding a sign that read, "I am a thief, I took money from a family member."
Okay, so how do y'all feel about this one? This one's a little bit weird, okay? Like, first of all, you shouldn't be giving the whole world access to what goes on in your humble abode, okay? So I probably would never do this, but y'all let me know. I feel like this one could be kind of controversial. Do y'all think you should do this or you shouldn't? Let me know.
Since it became quite common, some people have called it barbaric and abusive. Perhaps one of the most brutal of public humiliations was the parent that shaved her 12-year-old daughter's head and made her run up and down the street in a diaper. The parents did this in 2012 because the girl had gotten bad grades. The mother and her boyfriend were later charged with a gross misdemeanor. Number 4. Viral shaming. This is quite similar to public humiliation.
This is terrible. Viral shaming, because first of all, you're taking your child to the land of the trolls in a place that's going to live forever. You should not viral shame your child, bro. What is you doing? You should get the beats for that.
But it goes a step further in that you won't just be shamed for a day, but people can enjoy laughing at you for many years after the actual event. Time magazine wrote about public shaming via the internet in 2015, stating parents chastise and embarrass their kids with the intent to post the video on YouTube. Sometimes kids holding up signs similar to what we talked about were later posted online by the parents. One video shows a teen holding a sign saying, "I'm a liar and a thief. When I grow up, I want to go to prison. I am on the road to failure. I am a self-entitled."
Why would you tell your child that? Even if they did lie and to be like, bro, nah, I can't agree with this one. I can't agree with most of these. I think I'm gonna be a good parent. You know what I'm saying? I think I'm gonna be a good parent. Cause I'm not doing none of these, okay? This is not how you help people grow. Okay.
Teenager. Time interviewed a psychologist who, not surprisingly, was very much against such shaming, saying the internet is forever. These videos could have an effect on a child's whole life, maybe cost them a job someday. His advice? Parents, wise up and leave those kids alone. Number 3. Hacking your child. In 2010, a news report emerged in which a 16-year-old boy was suing his mom for hacking his email and social media accounts and then saying things that upset him. The mother said this was just punishment.
Oh, nah. If she hacked it and actually posted stuff, yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's a violation, mama. You can't do that. Now, if she hacked it just to monitor him as a child, I can't say that's wrong, but you can't be out here posting as him on his social network, bro. You can't do that.
Because her son had said some things on social media that she didn't like. In 2012, another mom in Ohio hacked her daughter's Facebook page, leaving a post stating, "I do not know how to keep my mouth shut. I am no longer allowed on Facebook or my phone. Please ask why. My mom says I have to answer everyone that asks."
That's dumb, bro. Like, why would you do that to your child? That is stupid.
There's an ongoing debate about how ethical this child hacking is. At what age should the kids have total control over their accounts? Number 2. Tying your kids up. Some parents have been so lost regarding how to...
Look, if you're a parent out there doing any of these things, I'm not saying you're a bad parent, but wait, bro, who would tie their kids up? Except for fun. Like, I done made my nephew into a burrito many a times with blankets. I never tied him up as no punishment, though.
To keep their kids out of trouble, that they have resorted to not allowing the children to go anywhere. As we said at the start, we don't want to focus too much on the criminal and abusive aspects of punishment, but these stories made the news of late as over-the-top kinds of punishments. One was a kid in China who was seen with a steel chain around his neck in his bedroom. The Chinese dad told the press in 2014 that his son just kept stealing from neighbors, and because it was a small community, the son would get caught. The dad would then have to return the goods, or if they were gone, he'd have to pay. "I can't keep paying compensation all the time because I just can't afford it." And eventually...
Okay, now in his situation, I don't know what you could do. You could probably get like an ankle monitor or something. I don't know how parent like that is, but you got to know where your kid go at least. But even if you know where he go, he could still steal, and you still have to compensate the people. So that's like a catch-22. I don't really know what to do with his child. Yeah, that's tough. I don't know what you should do with that. Y'all let me know down below. What would you do if you had a kid that just kept running out and stealing from everybody? Okay, you come home and your neighbor's garden gnome is tucked in his bed. What are you supposed to do with that kid? Let me know.
Eventually, someone was going to call the police and he would have been locked up, said the dad.
Facts.
Another case was in Malaysia in 2016 when a mother tied her 11-year-old daughter to a lamppost with a steel chain because the girl had been skipping school. There is such a thing as tough love.
How's she supposed to get to school if she tied up? I don't think the mom thought that one through, even the slightest bit. You tied her up because she won't go to school. How's she supposed to go to school strapped to a pole? The teacher not coming out to the street to teach her trigonometry. It's not happening.
But this is taking it too far, said one person who had seen the stricken girl. And finally, number 1, taking the poop to school. In 2002, the LA Times wrote that 2 parents were facing charges for abusing their child, a young teen that had been an example of very tough love. One day, his parents had forced him to take dog feces to school with him in his school bag because he had failed to clean up the yard. The mother was charged with misdemeanor child abuse and the father was acquitted. The case was well known at the time. The 16-year-old had indeed been a problem child, but people couldn't decide if such a punishment should be a crime. Concussions are clear and diagnosable. Emotional abuse may not be, said one expert at the time. If you feel like these kids just needed to be raised properly, then you might consider taking a Skillshare class called How to Raise Amazing...
Hi, y'all tried to put an ad in there? We not listening to it, okay? Shout out to infographics. You know what I'm saying? But we not about to watch your ad because Skillshare they didn't reach out to me, so we're not gonna play their ad. Listen, the only one I can like that I wouldn't like totally shame people for doing is obviously the spanking, because it's like it's normal, I guess, kind of like. I guess when you grow up in a society, when people do it, it's hard for you to see it as wrong. So, I mean, me personally, I'm not spanking my children. My girlfriend told me if we have children together, I got to spank them. I let her know that's not happening, okay? You know what I'm saying? Most times, by the time you get to the age where your kids get spankings, you have already failed at something else, you know what I'm saying, in the beginning, and had that thing been corrected before, you probably wouldn't need to spank them later on. For example, Big Holla never got spankings, okay? I did do spanking-worthy things, but it's too late. I'm old now, you know what I'm saying? Ain't no get-backs for the spankings you missed, parents. Anyway, let me know how y'all felt about this video. What punishments have you gotten off of here? Which one was the most outrageous? If my parents ever told me to take dog feces to school, probably would have threw it at them and ran away and never came back to the house, because they probably would have harakiri. Harakiri is suicide. They probably would have caught a body. Okay, then they would have spent the rest of their life in jail, and none of these outcomes for anybody is positive. So I'm glad they didn't do that. But y'all let me know what y'all have had from this list and what's the craziest. But before y'all head up out of here, make sure y'all smash that like button. More importantly, hit that sub button so you will be notified when I drop more bangers, okay, on your head top. Not only that, you will be joining the HollaSquad as an MVP member, because you watched this video to the end, and that's what MVPs do, and we need more people like you. So, you know what I'm saying? Hit the button. But until next time, we out of here.